150 miles outside of Las Vegas,
Object of unknown origin descending fast.
there is a place where unexplained phenomena occur.
Awesome.
It is known as Witch Mountain.
How are you, Mr. Andy?
I am very well, thank you so much, Mr. Manny.
Before we start with anything else, let me just point that you were born in Roswell, New Mexico.
I was born in Roswell, New Mexico.
How cool is that?
You know what? If you're doing a UFO movie, it's pretty darn cool.
You're telling me you think those two kids were extraterrestrials searching for their missing spaceship?
Oh, they can also do all this stuff, too.
You can tell that you are so into this UFO culture.
I've loved it my whole life, and I think when we set out to make this adventure, we wanted to ground it in as much reality as we possibly could. And so it was a joy to be able to bring in real people from the UFO community to help populate the movie, and I think it really grounded us in a lot of ways.
I understand your reaction. They certainly aren't helping our cause.
Our cause?
Educating the public on the legitimate possibility of life on other planets.
As a matter of fact, I'm giving a lecture on astrophysical anomaly detection at the Nut Job Convention.
We had a lot of, we wanted to keep it coming back to, science wherever we could. We wanted to sort of take whatever the most current theories were that, the scientific community out there, and what was NASA saying, what were various universities saying, and sort of pull that in and sort of layer that in for the science.
What attracted you to making the movie?
I was a huge fan of the original movie. Escape to Witch Mountain was just a favorite movie of mine growing up, and so when the opportunity arose to continue with the franchise, I sort of jumped at it.
Did you base it more from the original film or from the book?
I probably went, because I knew I wasn't doing a remake, so I probably was inspired by a lot of the film and then went back to the book for just some of maybe the darker themes.
The book is
darker. And so I think there were elements of that were all incorporated in this version.
Those vehicles behind us are indicating a pattern of pursuit.
I'm just gonna let them pass. Are you doing this? There's no way.
Seth, no.
Fans would want to know, though, why did you rename Tony and Tia to Seth and Sarah?
I think because we felt like that they weren't Tony and Tia. We felt like that was a story that had been completed in the 70s. That was another, those were kids who, in that movie, they were on a shipwreck that hit the water, and they didn't even know they were aliens, and then they were trying to get back home. This was a very different story. Seth and Sarah are very aware of who they are. They come to our planet on a mission, and they're going to leave our planet having completed that mission.
And as a fan and as a person who identified with both Tony and Tia, who wished that I had their powers,
yes,
it was so cool to see the real Tony and Tia right there.
Having Kim Richards and Ike Eisman back on our journey was, I think, for everybody, myself certainly included, was one of the real highlights of making this movie.
Well, and I love that one scene between Kim Richards and Anna Sophia.
Yeah.
There's a little wink, yes.
There is a thank you between both of them, and I think the minute we filmed that moment, I think there was a smile on every crew member's face, knowing exactly what that was.
And fans of the original film too would love all the homage that you paid for, for the original.
There's a lot, when I think of that original movie, I always think of that Winnebago, and it was very important to me to find a way to get that Winnebago in this project.
UFO convention is fun too. And I mean, how ironic is it that all these fake UFO people, and then there's the real.
I'm so happy you know that. That always used to make us laugh, which is in a UFO convention where everyone's there wanting to meet a UFO. In comes two kids who nobody pays the time of day to, who are really aliens, whom nobody thinks are aliens.
Sarah, are you listening to what I'm thinking?
Jack Bruno is an iconic hero who, if you had to get in the back of somebody's cab and pick one person to help you save the world, you'd want to be in Dwayne Johnson's cab.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You do know how to fly this thing, right?
How do you think we got here?
Well, you crashed, remember?